This is Minecraft 1.14.2, and to cut a long story short, this is a world on a realm that we have been playing on and off for about 3 years, I think. On and off, of course. Every time an update comes out, we add more to it, we go and get whatever new blocks are added. We've just sort of kept on and on going, and consequently have ended up with an enormous city that has just got bigger and bigger and bigger until it's absolutely huge. As you can see from the size of this build, we've obviously put a lot of time into this, but I've never really recorded anything of it before, and the only reason I'm doing so now is because I've been having a lot of issues with performance and lag since the update 1.14, and I was doing some research to try and see if it's a common problem that when you have over a certain number of villages it slows down to the point of being, well, almost unplayable. I'm talking jumping into a nether portal and it not being able to load the other dimension, trying to fire arrows at creepers from a safe distance and the arrows won't actually travel at all because it's too laggy, and villagers just freezing on the spot and not actually being able to move around. And what I found was that nobody else seems to have quite as many villages as we do, or at least if they have, they've not put them in any kind of city of this scale and not put it on YouTube or Reddit or anywhere that I could see. And flying around here, it doesn't look like we have that many, but just to put it in context, before the update, it was vaguely possible to estimate how many villages you have based on iron golems, right? Because you get 1 iron golem for every 10 villages, supposedly. And I could reliably go into spectator mode and go way, way, way up high and count 50 iron golems. So I thought, okay, 500 villages. Now, I know since the update, you can't count them anymore because golems just spawn indefinitely, or so it seems. And they run around all over the place, and sometimes they're inside, sometimes they're outside. You just can't fit them all on the screen at once. But I know they have bred, even though we tried not to breed them since the update, so goodness knows how many we have now. We've actually got them quite nicely spread out around the place now, so not really seeing huge clusters of them, apart from we still have a few issues over here where they'd like to be a bit... Actually no, it's not too bad. We did have a weird issue the other day where they were all in this corner for no reason, and some of them were actually outside. So we dug a water channel and sent them to a different part of the village. But anyway, we have a lot of villages, like a seriously large number of them. And there have been some challenges with updating this city to function as a 1.14 world. The city has like a downtown area and then some outer suburban type areas that are a bit more like a traditional village. This area here is the colourful village and the flower forest. I tried to keep the population down here and didn't really succeed all that well. Again, before the update, of course, it was all done with doors. The roofs of these houses were all full of doors, and there were also doors under the road. And they went a little bit berserk. So yeah, there's quite a few here. Some of them have moved out more recently, I think. But, oh that's right, they're all in this building, I think. Not too bad. Wow, they're actually really nicely spread out today. And then coming along here, this road leads up to... here, now entering downtown. Where we have this sort of landmark building, which I like to call a snow globe. It is actually literally built out of snow. The old style water elevator before we got bubble columns. And it was actually really useful. Bearing in mind that we built all of this in survival mode, it was actually very useful to come up here from like a town planning perspective, I suppose, because you can kind of see the layout of everything from this height through the glass. This area down here was actually one of the very first, or the oldest parts of town. Which for some reason, wow, it's so empty. Where have they all gone? This is bad. This means they're going to be grouped up somewhere weird again. Maybe it's just mustering time of day, so they're all at the bell. Oh yeah, it's going down, so they're probably all... Yeah, they are. They're all over here. Okay. You can see, actually based on what they're wearing, where they were born. So the old villagers that were already here before the update are in brown. And any of these white ones were born in the snowy biome after the update. And so you can tell it's like half and half almost. So I don't even want to know what the population is now. So we kind of tried to add the beds and the workstations in the most sensible way possible. So beds for the most part are in the houses, kind of where you'd expect them to be. And then in here, because there wasn't really like a work type area, I added this on later and we just put them in big long rows according to type. It would have made way more sense actually, and made it much easier from a trading perspective if we'd had buildings dedicated to each type of villager, and then when you want to trade with them you just take one set of items to a specific area and you know that all those professions are going to be there. But we didn't do that and it's kind of too late now, so we just have to live with it. And I don't know why there are 2 workstations in this house, because that doesn't make any sense. So most of these, what we discovered is that for the most part they will use the first floor and the second floor relatively comfortably. So we've been putting the beds on the first floor and then workstations up above. And that's true of most of these. Not going to be anyone up there because they're all going to bed now. They have stopped breeding for the time being, at least, thank goodness. We tried to kind of introduce beds slowly so that we didn't cause a mass rush of, oh hey, there's loads of unclaimed beds, let's breed like crazy. And also placing them at night helps with that, because at night they're only looking to sleep and they don't think about breeding. So then they all claim them and then the next morning they don't go berserk. Kind of learned that one the hard way because they went a little bit crazy when we first started placing beds during the day. And then where we kind of had a natural intersection in the roads, we built these squares and put the meeting points in, and we tried to space them out nicely throughout the city so that the villagers would distribute themselves nicely. It's kind of worked and kind of not. These 2 buildings here still seem to be quite empty. And it's not because there aren't enough villagers, they're just too far away to take those beds, I assume. There's a couple finding their way in here. And they're still leaving doors. I really, really hate that they don't know to close doors behind them. It's got better since the last couple of patches, but it's just as well we have this huge wall around the whole thing and nothing can actually get in here. If ever there was a raid, they would just run straight inside. Another square here. This building used to be completely full of them and they have all gone somewhere else. I don't know, I think it's possible sometimes, or maybe sometimes because of the lag, that they will move so far away from their own beds and workstations that they kind of forget that they ever owned them and unclaim them and go somewhere else. I don't really know how that happened, because, yeah, both floors of this building were absolutely teeming not so long ago, and now there only seems to be, what, 5 of them in here. So I don't know where they went. You're supposed to be going to bed, mate. Look, it's dark outside. I'm not paying you overtime. So this is kind of the newer part of town, if you will. These 2 buildings are the most recently added. This is one of my favourites, actually, I've ever seen. I didn't build this one, but that's pretty awesome. And we have 2 bridges now. Of course, villagers being villagers insisted on climbing up onto the bridges and somehow falling onto the ice. So we had to change the sides of the bridges here so that they couldn't actually climb on them, which is really sad because I liked to climb on them and stand on top of them. I thought it was a nice view from here. But there you go. And then this area, this lamppost right here with the lanterns on it, every now and then a villager stands on top of this lantern and he just gets stuck there. I don't know how he gets up there because I have tried really hard to jump up there and I can't. So how he got up there I don't know, and when he gets there the only way to get him down is actually to destroy that lantern, and then he falls off and hurts himself. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. See, this is what I mean about frozen villages. They should be in bed, and they're not. They're not even moving. They will just stand there like that forever unless I try to trade with them or push them around. And then this is our market over here. Again, this is a newer area. Now, sorry, but I'm really over iron golems. Nobody needs this many golems in one small area. The villagers cannot even get to their front doors, look. So much so that I actually ended up installing a cheat. Well, kind of a... What the... Why... Okay, why are there villagers on the top floor of this building? There is nothing up here for you. Look how far up that is. They've gone up how many floors to get there? Good grief. No, there is nothing. They are so weird. Anyway, I actually had to install this command block here, which uses the /kill command to get rid of golems, because it was getting to the point where every couple of Minecraft days there would be over 200 golems in the city, and they make the lag even worse. They get in the way. It's hard to build or landscape anything without hitting them by accident, and we just don't like them very much. So yeah, this was the solution. I tried to find ways of getting rid of them, thinning their numbers naturally, but there wasn't really any survival friendly way of attracting them to one spot that wouldn't also kill villagers, so this is what we ended up doing. Well then, yes, Market Square with another one of these. This is a very busy house. I put too many things in here. See, here they don't lag at all because there's less of them on screen, I suppose, but downtown it's, well, I guess it's kind of like a real city. There's too much traffic downtown. No, guys, it's not polite to stand on other villagers while you're look, you just kicked him out of the bed! What are you doing? Stop! You're not supposed to stand on other villagers while they're trying to sleep. And you lot should not be inside. No golems in houses. So frustrating. So yes, unless they do some major performance improvements, and I know they're still working on that, I kind of feel like our city is almost outgrown itself, especially in terms of population. It's getting more and more difficult to manage having this many villages. I know the easy solution, or the most logical solution, is to thin their numbers a bit, but oh, we are so overprotective of our villagers, and we literally cannot bear the thought of anything happening to them. So I'm pretty certain they are here to stay. But I do not think we'll be able to make it this much bigger without running into more and more issues. I downloaded this world into single player to make this video, just so it was a little bit less slow, but you can see that these guys are slowing down now. They kind of got that jerky motion instead of the smooth movement that we saw over in the market type area, and then there's a few of those frozen ones hanging about. So it remains to be seen. Look at these guys, they really are adorable. I couldn't possibly play without them, no matter how much trouble they cause us. Well, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed this tour of our city. If you do have a build like this with a lot of villagers, and by a lot I mean at least 100, then please do upload it somewhere. I would like to see how other people have handled the transition from older versions to the new mechanics in 1.14.